Alright. As promised, I'm doing a video trying to fix this gear and make it live. I think I got a plan to do it. As you can see, I've taped over the bearing really well to make sure no metal parts can get in there. I'm going to tape over this end just to make sure. Don't want any metal parts getting in. Of course, I'll probably rewash this whole thing in some nice clean solvent spray under air pressure to blow anything out of there. Okay, so got the gear centered where I like it, tightened down. This is holding the gear in place. This is where the brake is right here. You're wondering why I've got this other dryer vent clamp around the bearing. It's to keep me from accidentally scratching the bearing, because I'm going to go on either side of the crack and drill. This is my little punch that I searched for about an hour around here trying to find that stupid thing. I tell you, this thing grows legs and walks away. It's so small. If you set it somewhere, you'll never see it. Okay, so I'm going to get I want to be right on the upper point of this. This gear goes down even below the bearing. The plastic does. So this is about the middle. No matter what, I can't have the reflection is beaming me in my eyes. No matter what, I can't have anything sticking out that's going to hit the bearing or the cage. Good. I was hoping that would bend it back a little, which it did, which puts it further inside of this. This gear is what also will help hold this thing in place. I'm going to do one on either side here for now, and depending on how it goes, I may do one of these in every point all the way around. Take my time and do it so it's really well done. Seeing this, I should just put tape over this in order to get this thing centered. Just can't hardly see the dang thing. Okay, so that looks pretty good for getting my divots in there, because I don't want this to walk. This is a 1/8 coat, so I'm going to have to drill all the way in. The melt thing ain't going to work. Okay. Okay, all the way through. Okay, I wonder if I should put a little divot on the back side too. Maybe I will. If I can have it go into the back side a bit, that'll give a little extra strength. Just a little divot. Okay, so now we're I think I'm not going to use that since I heated it particularly hot trying to get it to go. Could always heat it up and hit it in cold water over and over to harden it up, but don't see a whole lot of point in doing that. It's just not that big of a deal, I think, to harden it. Okay, that's through that side for sure. I don't think I need the pliers. Just use like a nail. That one doesn't want to go. Maybe I do need the pliers. Try to hold it straight. There we go. You can hear that hit bottom. It's got a little pointy on the bottom, so it can jam right into that metal on the back side. Okay, now I'm not going to cut them clean off. I'm going to cut them sticking out a bit. Just gonna clean my dikes up a bit here. Alright, so I'm going to cut them out a little bit. Sticking out, not far. Shoot myself with them. Ow, I've been shot. Ow. Okay, so this is at least, I might want to scratch a little more off of these so I can cover them with JB Weld. The good JB Weld that could be in oil. Okay, I think this has got it. This just drives a weak gear. I mean, his gear is so weak. Well, same thing. I mean, I probably wouldn't even have to do more than this. I don't think, I mean, they might eventually vibrate out, but I mean, this is solid. So, doing another couple over here, and then I'm probably going to just nick these off a little closer, because they're sticking out a little too far. And then, maybe I might even have to grind them flat. Probably best to grind them a little flatter to where they're near this metal. And then I'll put a layer of, clean it really good, scrape it up good, put a layer of JB Weld across that won't be able to interfere with the gear. The gear sits about here, probably about like that, so it's like hardly anything is going to interfere with the gear. And you can see the gear is going to have no problems going across there. Hopefully, they are a little nicked at the edge, but they're smooth going across. So since they're right in the middle, and this probably sits like right here, I don't think that's going to be any issue, especially with oil. Once I actually get it in, I'll see how perfectly it sits, but I think that's going to be it right there. So there you have it. After grinding these off, putting a couple more in there to hold the whole thing, you know, basically keep it from breaking again. I think it probably got broke getting banged around, so maybe they banged it or something trying to get it out of the transmission when they sold it. This is from a wrecking yard, so they sent me it broken, but he's going to give me a $20 discount. I should ask for more than a $20 discount for this. It's a little more work than $20 once. So. But at least I think we're going to have a good differential and a good ring gear on there. So I'll skip, you know, the rest. You can imagine. Cut these down a little bit. Put some JB Weld over the top so that they can't come out ever. They use the good JB Weld that'll hold in the oil. They do have a JB Weld that works under oil now. So there you go. Okay, first step finished. As you can barely see, there's a pin. Drill the hole through, tap the pin in, cut it off, and ground it down a little because I couldn't cut it off flush enough, but I need them sticking out a bit. And I did it on every point that comes out. there's a pin. So this thing has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pins holding it from breaking again. And you struggle to even find where the actual brake is. It is not glued, it is just held together perfectly. This is now the first stage done. The second stage is going to be filling this over with JB weld to cover the tips of these pins so they can't come out. And going on even to this plastic, you can see I have scratched the plastic and the metal, if you can see it. The metal is nicely scratched up, the plastic's nicely scratched up. So I'm going to clean this with acetone, and I pull this tape off, clean it with acetone, put a fresh piece of tape around here and put on the JB weld. Don't want to risk getting JB weld on any of these bearings. You know what happened with that, since that stuff never comes off. Not going to take a risk on ruining the bearing. So the next video section will show completed with the JB weld on it. Okay, finished product. Pins all the way around. Now the pins are glued on properly with, of course, the wonderful JB weld. Yay for JB weld original. Good up to 550 degrees, and the oil won't phase it. And I put it on exactly how instructed, which means to scrape up all surfaces thoroughly. They say you grit sandpaper, but I used actually a file to scratch up the little bits of metal and to really scrape up the plastic surfaces. And of course cleaned it thoroughly with acetone, and now it just sits for 24 hours, and that's it. Clean it up with soap and water, and then give it a good bath in oil, and it'll be ready to go in the car.